Good morning, beloveds. It's kind of an interesting day in that when we went out for the run, it's probably the warmest it's been. It was 74, but there was a nice breeze and it was overcast, so it didn't feel as hot. I also think that the humidity may have been a touch lower, so that helped too. You never realize how much of a killer that humidity is, because I didn't come back quite as wet as I did a couple of days ago. So it's just like the weather. It's just weird. It's just weird. Getting weirder. So, but the magnolias are beautiful. The magnolias are beautiful. Um, yeah. Well, we are coming to the end of April. Now, this book isn't themed for the month, so uh, there's that. But we got 2 days left in April. So it is April 29th. Our title is I Fulfill My Destiny Now. Our Bible quote is, if ye know these things, happy are ye if ye do them. I love speaking biblical, weird, thee and thous. That is John 13:17. So, I know beyond the shadow of a doubt that God supports me in every right action. I feel the sustaining power of the Spirit flowing through me, and I act with authority. I do those things which are pleasing to God and helpful to man. The joy of true accomplishment is mine today. I believe that God loves me, and his approval is all I need. I am glad to be an outlet for the perfect action of a perfect mind. I have a purpose in living. I was created to be a witness to the truth and fulfill my destiny now. Aware of God within me, aware of God around me, I act as a son of God should act. I do those things that are constructive and valuable. I not only know the truth, I act as the truth. I speak truth, think truth, and radiate truth. My world reacts to my consciousness, and truth appears on all sides. My way is easy, and my problems are as nothing, for the truth makes glad my way. My destiny is to be a creative person in a universe which responds to my thought. As a result of my conscious deliberations, new and greater forms of good should and do appear. My right thinking produces experience that lift and heal my fellow man. This I do, for it is my destiny to be a bringer of good tidings of great joy. I delight in the magnificence of God's universe. I am glad that his mind fashioned me out of its own substance. I realize that I must live in accordance with God and his perfect law of mind action. I do this, for it is the only permanent way of peace and true accomplishment. So I fulfill my destiny now, and then he proceeds to tell you what your destiny is. And it's not what we, I guess it's not what we traditionally think of our destiny as. We think of our destiny, well, depending on how neurotic you want to get about it, we don't have a destiny. Our destiny is to change the world. Our destiny is to cure cancer. Our destiny is to, rule the world. That's why we get neurotic. It can be, and he says, no, it's just to be a creative person. Your destiny is to be a creative person. My destiny is to be a creative person in a universe that responds to my thought. That's it. And then you stop and go, well, I can do that. That is a destiny. That's an easy destiny to fulfill. It just really, honestly, just takes all the pressure off of that word destiny. And it's kind of earth shattering and like that big sigh of relief. That's what my destiny. Okay. So I fulfill my destiny now. And the quote that they're using here from John 13:17, if you know these things, happy are you if you do them. And so it's about truth. What's the truth? The truth is that there is a loving, patterning intelligence, and your destiny is simple as being a creative person. I know, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that God supports me in every right action. And that can be, that's one of those things where religion can get weird. Who determines what right action is? At which point Ernest would simply point you back to what Jesus said the qualities of God are. Loving, kind, compassionate, healing, happiness, joy, creativity, harmony, peace. Those are all of the qualities of God. So if action is in that and Ernest says it later, constructive, benefiting everyone and everything, if it benefits the world, then it's right action. And God absolutely supports right action because God supports creation. I feel the sustaining power of spirit flowing through me, and I act with authority. The sustaining power of spirit is always flowing through you, and it flows through you to the degree that you are willing to allow it. That you absolutely have control over how much and how little of that spirit you let flow through you. So it is a matter of doing your spiritual practice, feeling it, and then allowing for a greater flow. I do those things which are pleasing to God and helpful to people. I do those things which are pleasing. What's pleasing to God? Taking care of yourself, taking care of nature, taking care of the planet, taking care of the animals, taking care of each other. Never to the detriment of any of those things. That's what's pleasing to God. Sitting in church and singing is not unpleasing to God, but God is pleased when we care about each other and the people around us and the things around us, the environment and the animals, the living, breathing, the joy of true accomplishment is mine today. I believe that God loves me, and God's approval is all I need. All right. So can you say that? Can you say to yourself that you believe God loves you? God loves you. God loves you. And God approves of you. Whatever, there's nothing about you, your skin color, your gender, your ethnicity, your culture, your who you love. There's nothing in there that God does not approve of. All right? Now, if you are using any of that to oppress another person, God does not approve of that. But who you are born to be, God approves of all of that. So go look yourself in the mirror and say, I believe that God loves me and God's approval is all I need. Which takes the onus off of you needing approval from everybody else. The only approval you need comes from right here. Right here. I am glad to be an outlet for the perfect action of a perfect mind. And that's what we're called to be. We are God. We are God expressing in this world. So we are an outlet for that perfect action of the perfect mind. I have a purpose in living. I have a purpose in living. You have a purpose in living. We were created to be a witness to the truth, and we fulfill our destiny now. Okay? We were created to be witnesses of the truth. We were created to show God because we are expressions of God. Aware of God within me, aware of God around me, I act as a child of God should act. How should a child of God act? Well, a child of God should act with all of the qualities of God. Love, peace, healing, creativity, harmony, joy, happiness. There are more. Those are just my defaults. But those are the defaults. If those are your defaults, then you're in good company. You are acting as a child of God. I do those things which are constructive and valuable. I not only know the truth, I act as the truth. I speak truth and think truth and radiate truth. All right? I do those things which are constructive. So I'm not just telling you about my God. I'm showing you my God through my actions. We show each other our God through our actions. And I've met some people, and I don't want to meet their God. I don't want to meet their God. But I hope that when people encounter me, because through me they are encountering the God that I believe in, the God that I know, that they want to know my God. They want to know that loving, kind, compassionate, healing, peaceful, happy. Am I that 100% of the time? No, I'm human. But that's my endeavor. That is what I try. That is why I do my spiritual practices, so that more times than not, I am acting that way. My world reacts to my consciousness, and truth appears on all sides. I'm willing to see God everywhere. I'm willing to see God everywhere. My way is easy, and my problems are nothing, for truth makes glad my way. So my problems are nothing. My problems are nothing. It means that I focus on the solutions. It means that I focus on the solutions, not the problems. Don't get me wrong. I have problems just like everybody else does, but my goal is never to focus on my problems. My goal is to acknowledge my problems and focus on the solutions. So I know sometimes we hear those phrases, we go, oh God, I don't know how. That's how. Focus on the solutions. My destiny is to be a creative person in a universe which responds to my thought. My destiny, your destiny is to be a creative person. That's it. And you can make that into absolutely anything. Which can be scary, I get it. I was a gifted child, I know. The worst thing is when somebody comes to you and says, you can be anything you want. What do you want to be? I don't know. Well, what are your passions? Follow your passions. That's your destiny. Follow your passions. Or as Joseph Campbell would say, what's your bliss? Follow your bliss. As a result of my conscious deliberations, new and greater forms of good shall and do appear. My right thinking produces experiences that lift and heal my fellows. That's the goal, to be that healing presence. And to be that healing presence in such a way that I have nothing extra to do. Okay? To be a healing presence means that I am who I am authentically all the time. When you meet me, there's nothing that I have to do to be a healing presence. All I am is an island of calm. That's how I'm a healing presence. It doesn't require anything extra of me. So that's, don't think that, oh, well, now I have to be a healing presence. How do I do? It just means to be the loving godling that you are. That is all you have to do to be that healing presence. This I do, for it is my destiny to be a bringer of good tidings of great joy. Our destiny is to bring good tidings of great joy. How do we do that? By being who we are, by following those qualities of Job, by following those qualities of God, and being that island of calm, being that healing presence, being that show me your God. Don't tell me about your God. Show me your God. Being that. Because people get tired about hearing about God. They want to see God. So show it to them. Show them your God. Show them that wonderful, loving, kind, compassionate God that you know. And if you don't know that God, let me show you mine. You get to know my God, and then you realize we have the same God. I delight in the magnificence of God's universe. I am glad that God's mind fashioned me out of its own substance of good. I realize that I must live in accordance with God and God's perfect law of mind action. I do this, for it is the only permanent way of peace and true accomplishment. That was a mouthful. But if I delight in the magnificence of God's universe, I am grateful to know that I am formed out of God's substance. The good of God. I am formed from the good of God. You are formed from the good of God. We realize that we must live in accordance with God and God's perfect law of mind action. Meaning that our words are powerful. Our words are powerful, whether we speak them or think them. And that can be the power of journaling, because journaling can tell you where the trend of your thoughts are. Do you delight in the magnificence of God's universe? And if you don't, then try. Find something beautiful every day. That was one of the things that I did early on in the beginning of this COVID experience, is I set myself a goal because I love to take pictures. I am a photographer. Professional? No. Good? Yeah, I think so. My goal was to find one beautiful thing every day. And it got me through. So I delight in God's beautiful universe. So I do this, for it is the only permanent way of peace and true accomplishment. All right. I've already told you what the mission for today is. Our mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to be a creative person in the universe, which responds to our thoughts. To recognize our destiny. But in recognizing our destiny, we're recognizing who we come from. We're sourced from God. We're made from God. It's the reason why we use the term godling. Can we encompass all of God at once? No. We don't have to, though, because we're surrounded by godlings. All we have to do is delight in God's universe. Delight in each other. See the beauty. Cultivate the beauty. Cultivate the truth. Cultivate the kindness. Cultivate the compassion. Cultivate the love. That's it. Our destiny is easy. And yet, it's the hardest thing ever, because it asks us to be who we authentically are. All right, beloveds, I ask you, as I always do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself, whatever that looks like. Absolutely whatever that looks like. Today, for me, it was to go for a run and to stop and smell the magnolias. Yep, I stopped and smelled the magnolia blossoms. That was my loving, kind, and compassionate. Whatever it looks like to you, because everybody's different. And that's the glory of the universe. All right? There may be storms moving in, so if you're going to go for a walk, you might want to do it early. Do something to engage your mind and your body today. Go get a little bit of sun first thing in the morning. It's good for your vitamin D. Resets those hormones. And drink plenty of water. But basically what I'm asking you to do is take care of yourself. You're a beloved child of God, in whom God is well pleased, always and forever. Please get to the point where you can look in your own eyes and say that. Because if you can say it to yourself, you can say it to anybody. to look somebody in their in their eyes and to say you are a beloved child of God, in whom God is well pleased, is one of the greatest gifts that you can give to anybody. So, open the windows of your soul. Allow that breath of heaven to remind you you do live in heaven now. It is all around you. Please delight in God's universe, because it's your universe too. You are a co-creator. You get to claim a part of that beauty because you helped create it. All right? Your thoughts and words are powerful. It's Thursday. So if you're catching this on a Thursday, there is a prayer circle that happens about 7 p.m. Central Time. So if you're interested in that, email info@creativelife.org. That is done by practitioners John and Marissa. So they are available every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time. So check that out if you would. And bear in mind that these talks are archived on the Running Rev YouTube channel. But Reverend David will be on Facebook Live around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back at 9 a.m. Have a wonderful day, beloveds.